How are we doing?
Yeah, good. How you guys, all right? Great. Awesome. Hello, I'm Jack. I do marketing for Granola. Hands up if you've heard of Granola. Okay, awesome, great. Granola is an AI notepad for meetings that helps you stay present and looks after the notes.
And I'm Max. Can everyone hear? You can hear?
Yeah.
It's the right volume? Yeah, okay. I'm Max. I'm co-founder of an agency called Ragged Edge. We're a brand agency based just over the road in Hatton Garden in Farringdon. Clients all over the world, people like Amazon, Google, Virgin, Wise. We work with Jack on Monzo, and then more recently Granola. And like all different types of things, all different types of products, we kind of don't really mind. What we do care about with our clients is the mindset. And I think, Jack, you're the perfect embodiment of that mindset, someone that cares less about what is and much more about what could be. Because what we want to do when we create and define brands is create something that is genuinely different, genuinely distinctive, that's based on a really clear idea, brought to life in a way that is different to everything out there, not just in the category, but out there at all, and then delivered with real craft at scale. But we're not going to talk too much about Ragged Edge today. The way this is going to go down is I'm going to have a bit of a rant, and then Jack is going to talk about the work we did together for Granola. So, the rant first. I just came back from Cannes, and our industry, like just listening to the things we were saying there as an industry, watching the stuff that people are talking about on LinkedIn, it's kind of a mess. And in my opinion, the industry is just like our marketing industry, the creative industry, the branding industry has lost a bit of confidence. And we're starting to try and speak the language of our clients. This world obsessed with data, with measurability, with efficiency, with predictability, with velocity. You like velocity, don't you, Jack?
Love velocity.
Yeah, they made us work with quite a lot of velocity. But that's not our language. We, as an industry, have lost confidence in the one thing that makes us different, which is creativity. It's the one thing we can do that nobody else can do. And we're scared of it. We're scared of creativity. We're scared of difference. And what I'm seeing in the industry when I talk to people, but also I spend an embarrassing amount of time on LinkedIn, which I'm not proud of. But when I see there is, instead of people celebrating the amazing work this industry does and all the different stuff that we do, the creative stuff we do, we just fucking moan about it. And everything on the internet is so easy to take a swipe, and it's easy to get engagement if you just say, I don't like this is wrong, I could have done this differently, I would have designed this differently. And this is true, this was true right from the beginning of my career. I started Ragged Edge with my co-founder Matt in 2007. The London Olympics came out, and it was absolutely savaged. And there was petitions to have it changed. There were all these different agencies saying, if you'd given it to us, we would have done it better. And it was chaos. And this amazing, this was a moment for Britain to celebrate its creative export. And instead, we savaged it. Same with Airbnb when that launched in 2014. Incredible piece of brand work by a design studio. And all anyone could talk about was how it looked like a non-specific piece of genitalia. I've never quite worked out exactly what it's supposed to be. But the creative industry made such a noise about it that even the fucking Guardian picked it up. And the Guardian ran an article that said, is it balls, vagina, or both? That was the Guardian headline about this amazing rebrand. Absolutely ridiculous. And then most recently, the Spotify, let's call it a debacle. I actually had to tear myself away from LinkedIn for a bit because I just couldn't bear fucking reading about this stuff anymore. Like, there were so many just embarrassing hot takes about it. Moaning about how they shouldn't have done it, moaning how they should have designed it better. Just like endless streams of this stuff. And I think what people forget is that it's not just our peers reading this stuff. Our clients, people like Jack, read this stuff, and they see it, and they look at us, and they look at people like me, and they sort of shake their head like Logan And you say, I love you, man, but like, we're not serious people, like we're making ourselves look ridiculous. And we're getting to the point now where we had a client recently where they said to us, like, we want to rebrand, but we cannot call it a rebrand. You cannot say the word rebrand because rebrands are bad and rebrands get slagged off on the internet. We can't call it a rebrand, which is not great for a branding industry to not even be able to talk about what we do. As an industry, we have lost confidence in the thing that we do. Since 2000 BC, when farmers started branding livestock, the whole point of a brand was to make your organization, your service, your business, your cow, uniquely identifiable. That is the whole point of a brand. The whole point of a brand is to be different. If it isn't different, nothing else matters, because you won't recognize it. You won't know it is that brand. Different is the point. It's not a luxury. It's not a nice to have. It's the point. And there's this thing called the von Restorff effect, which is this amazing study that this lady called Hedwig von Restorff did in the 30s. And it's really simple and really obvious. And what it is that the more something stands out from the things around it, the more likely it is to be remembered. Basically, the more different it is, the more it will get remembered. Here's some proof. Has everyone seen this TV show? Can anyone remember what happens in this TV show? It's called For Your Friends and Neighbors. It's on Apple TV. It is the most, in my opinion, AI slop TV show ever, where like every single frame looks identical. Even while you're watching it, you can't really remember what's happening. They're just scenes and scenes and scenes that go on forever, roughly the same thing. Except for one scene where John Hamm gets beaten up, and I think he takes some drugs and goes clubbing. And it's super weird and really odd and different. And people suddenly started to respond. And this happened. And so suddenly you have this effect where this TV show that no one cared about, suddenly it went to the top of the Apple charts. The song by Kato went to the top of the streaming charts. It got renewed for a third season. Apple subscriptions went up like this. None of that was happening. And then someone did one thing, one small thing, and suddenly the world changed for the show, for Apple, for Kato, for everybody, because of difference. And that happened with the Olympics. Like the London Olympics is the most memorable, distinctive expression of UK culture out of almost any Olympic brand. When people saw it in person, it made sense. It was genuinely powerful. And when you see this, it brings back all kinds of incredible memories. Same with Airbnb. $17.9 billion. That's not the value of Airbnb. That is the value of Airbnb's brand. Just their brand, $17.9 billion. We don't have stats for Spotify yet, but what we do know is that companies like Granola and lots of the others saw what was going on, saw what the conversation was, and they all started to do Spotify's advertising for them. This idea of discomorphism, basically Spotify invented a noun, and this is like the Google Trends data for the noun discomorphism, and there was nothing, and then Spotify did their disco thing, and suddenly, like the whole internet's talking about discomorphism. It worked. It worked. It got them remembered. It got them noticed. I have no doubt that their engagement levels went up. I have no doubt that their downloads went up. I have no doubt it was effective. And I think probably the most important quote you're going to hear today is from the co-head of global communications, CJ Stanley, who says, nobody gets passionately annoyed about something they're indifferent to. So if people are going to get annoyed about something, it's because they care about your brand. And that's because what's different gets noticed, what's different gets remembered, and essentially what's different gets chosen. There's the rant. Despite all that, it takes real guts to do this stuff, because you know you're going to get slammed on the internet. And so with like my endless gratitude, Jack felt the fear and did it anyway with Granola.
Yeah. Thank you, Max. So yeah, look, that's the whole reason we wanted to work with Max and the team at Ragged Edge, is the way they thought about making brands that are genuinely different. Granola launched 2 years ago. as the AI notepad for people in back-to-back meetings. And this is what our brand looked like at the time. It was made in the afternoon before we launched, when we needed to put a website live. It was designed by Sam, our co-founder, but we felt it didn't really represent who we were. You know, if you come to our office, we have a very different vibe, as you can see here on the screen. We are kind of uniquely and very, very focused on creating experiences that humans feel endeared to. But if you took a look at our website and the way we had been running the app at the time, you know, some of our other kind of marketing assets, it felt like the category, which is like this, all looking very similar. You couldn't really pick out, if we were to put granola in this, you couldn't really pick out granola from the rest. And the same was true of our logo mark and the rest of our branding. Really, these things are, they have slight difference, but they're very clean, they're very polished, they're very kind of professional looking, and granola blended in. We really kind of believe that the path to progress and getting things done is messy and non-linear. Unlike other productivity tools which might try and fit your processes into certain boxes, we think about it very differently, and we are designing granola to be ergonomic to what work feels like today. So we start with this idea of keep doing, this idea of acknowledging the world is messy, but pummeling through it anyway to get to something that you want to achieve. And so keep doing was our organizing principle as we started to work with Max and team. So what did we do? Well, firstly, we chose our color, this very distinctive green. I actually don't think I can look at it because that screen is hurting my eyes. It's very bright and bold. We'd built some equity in green, but what we really wanted to do was stand out and not look like a tech brand. We wanted to look like how we felt, which is about building things organically for humans. We drew our logo mark. This is supposed to be the signal or a signifier of progress. The path to progress is non-linear. We're not going in a straight line. We're going off on a journey to get. You could just go straight to here, but actually, do you know what? We've gone all the way around. And it looks like it was drawn like a human being because it was. And it's also a G, which is quite helpful. And if you look at it, you know, if you drop it on your desktop, on a Mac or a PC or on your phone, you can just see how it contrasts itself already between the kind of straight shapes here and the kind of more natural feeling, hand-drawn feeling of granola. We chose this word mark, which kind of feels like it's like bleeding onto the page, and it looks really beautiful as you start to put it in lots of different places as well. Typography, we chose a typography that feels like you'd find it in an actual physical notepad. We describe ourselves as an AI notepad, but we really wanted to kind of imbue and respect the history of notebook making. And then we also worked on this kind of workhorse font we call Melange. And you can see the detail with which the team really kind of went to make sure that everything was perfect. And Melange worked together with what we call Quadrant Notepad. What we also felt was really important is that granola felt like it was designed by hand. So we literally brought a hand in and did some handwriting here. The handwriting script that we have is inspired by the handwriting of people who actually work at Granola. And then we have these beautiful kind of collage-like backgrounds that is supposed to acknowledge the fact that work is messy and the world of work today is messy. But then when you place granola on top, it feels calm. It feels like a place you can go and just focus, and that's exactly what you want, especially when you're going to a meeting. And then we brought this into our kind of illustration system too, for distinctiveness. And then art direction, you have a look at this as well. You know, this feels somehow like the person pictured in the photo is doing important work. I can't quite describe why, but it does. And then when it came to tone of voice, we wanted to say the same thing. We wanted to feel like it was, you know, two people talking to each other. It felt like, it had the economy of words that only a human would write. Very pointed, direct to the point, but really, nodding to this idea of working through a busy day. But also a place where we can have fun and do awesome stuff. So I love this cap. I was going to wear the recap cap today, but unfortunately it's way too hot, so I didn't. And this is how it all came together. There we go.
Stunning.
Nice, right? So we launched, and we got hit by an absolute barrage of tweets, LinkedIn posts, and more. I felt like this. I think you did too, probably, Max, right? I was running on 3 hours sleep and unfortunately woke up with food poisoning, which was not an ideal time to launch the brand. And Max, I think you were in a hotel in Doha?
Yeah, I was on my own in bed in a strange country, Doha, doom scrolling. And my particular version of doom scrolling was searching granola on Twitter, and there were 10,000 tweets. 10,000. I read every single one, and all I could think about was Jack's going to fire us tomorrow.
Yeah, well. And we were looking at stuff like this, right? Please bring back the old logo, ASAP. Granola is joining the AI company butthole logo club, which, actually is maybe a compliment considering we're being compared next to Claude and OpenAI, which are huge brands, right? We're just this tiny company based in London. This might be the worst rebrand of all time. Whoever chose puke green as the brand color should be fired. Okay, well, thanks. But then the defense brigade started coming in. We got this lovely essay from Alex in reply to Jamie. We got people standing up saying that they actually liked the brand. And so it felt like a bit of a whirlwind, and we kind of came out of the whole experience feeling like this. We woke up the next day and we were like, oh my God, what have we done?
You were
what
still
have
vomiting.
we done?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? But then, we had the most downloads in Granola history. A month later, we became the world's second fast growing software brand behind Claude. And 3 months after that, we raised our Series C. So we decided to do it again, competing against lots of brands in out of home. We did this. Across London and also New York, in lots of different places. And we got the same reaction. All of this giving us more reach on the internet, and our defenders coming to the rescue as well.
Didn't we? You had a tweet today that had 250,000 views.
Yeah.
Moaning about, was it the grammar or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, something about, yeah, I think so.
And like, those stats, like you had the biggest day ever. We were the world's second fastest growing software. Like, that is unreal. Like, Granola is a lot smaller than every single one of those other brands. And it was growing at a much faster rate. Unbelievable. The raise, and the guy, one of your lead investors, Sam told me that the quote was, like, the reason why he wrote the 125 million check or whatever it was your brand is the differentiator. Yep. Your brand is going to be your moat. So this difference, like, nobody gets annoyed about this stuff unless they care. And people care about Granola because these guys made an incredible product. They noticed it because it was different. This stuff works. And I think as an industry, like, we have to stop the the moaning. We have to stop the sniping. We have to do things differently because we are killing ourselves. Like, our industry is killing itself. Like, we have to stop playing defense. We have to stop talking about data and all that stuff, and efficiency and velocity. Like, we've got to stop talking about this stuff. That's not what we do better than anyone else. So AI is always going to be better at that stuff than we are. This is the co-founder of AI, Jack Clark, okay? Co-founder of AI, talking on Newsnight last month. He said there is no evidence that AI systems can be truly creative. They're not coming for our jobs. They can't do it. The co-founder of AI, the co-founder of Anthropic, he's paid to juice the stock price by making up hyperbolistic claims about his product. Even he is saying it can't be creative. We have to change the narrative. Like, my pet peeve as someone working in this industry and someone heavily invested in it is, like, people always sort of talk about the industry. The industry says this, the industry says this. Like, we are the industry. All of these people in this room, all these people outside, us on stage, like, it's our job to define what we talk about, to define what the conversation is, to define what other people think about us. We get to decide. We get to decide. We have control over this stuff. We have agency. All this, like, AI doomerism and stuff, we get to decide. And if we as an industry, we can get together and we can start celebrating creativity and we can start making stuff that is genuinely different, that people can understand is having huge impact on brands like Granola, if that stuff wins, if different wins, we as an industry win. We'll get paid more, we'll get more opportunities, our careers will advance. Like, if we talk about difference, if we embrace difference, if we change the narrative, then everyone here in this room, we all win. Our careers, our clients, our whole industry. That's us. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Cheers.